Another tutorial, and in this tutorial we're going to talk about how to share the library. We're going to use the common libraries like the multi-platform libraries like Kotlin X datetime, which is a multi-platform library which can be used both for Android and iOS, and we're going to also use another library which is called loggin library for Kotlin multi-platform. So this is called Napier, and it's a logging library both for iOS, Android, and it also supports multiple operating system like multiple other platforms like JavaScript, JVM. Okay, so this is usually it helps you to write the logs. Okay, so we'll be adding this to library, and we're using this in a common main so that it can be shared both for iOS and Android platforms, right? So okay, so we'll be doing this, and we'll be also actually start implementing our logic for the business logic, the common business logic for this our application, which is we're going to build is a time application which uses most importantly this library called Kotlin X datetime, which this library provides a basic set of types for writing your date and time, right? So we're going to use this common Kotlin multi-platform library and implement it in our application. Okay, so as you know, one of the main benefit of Kotlin multi-platform is you can share a business logic among all your platforms, right? So we're gonna write a business logic in the shared module. So this module is a multi-platform module, so you can use it for iOS, Android, if you want, also for desktop and web, but we will be focusing in our tutorial only for iOS and Android. Okay, so let's go and open our project folder. So let's go and okay, in the project view, let me open the shared module, and the source I have to open the, so as you know, there are Android main, common main, and iOS main, right? So we'll find the so in this shared module folder, there have three modules, like one for Android, one for common, both shared among Android and iOS, and one is for iOS, right, main. So we're gonna find this platform.android class, right, and the greetings class, right? So where is the greetings class? Let me see. Yeah, the platform and the greeting class. So we're gonna delete these classes because we are not gonna need this anymore. So let me go and delete this. This was just for the demonstration, the initial so we're gonna delete this. We're gonna also delete anyway. Okay, so now everything will be deleted. So we can also delete this one, save delete. Okay, and also from the iOS main we can also save delete this one. Okay, because we're gonna write our application from scratch. We don't need that initial greeting message that was by default, when you created the project. So now let's go to my, obviously if now I run my application, obviously it's gonna give me error because okay, compilation error, because obviously if you go to your Android app and source, you are using these greetings everywhere, right? I'm using it in my greeting view, greeting.greet, right? So okay, it's a text. I'm using compose, so I don't need this greeting view. Okay, I just remove this. Okay. Oh, okay, now now the application is running because obviously I'm not using any the greeting view anymore. Okay, so Now we're gonna, as I told you, for our datetime calculation we're gonna use this library, the common library, the Kotlin multi-platform library is called Kotlin X datetime. So we're gonna use this. So how you're gonna use this is pretty simple. You are gonna go to your the shared, okay, Gradle Kotlin script, and inside here, inside the source set of common main, in the section of dependencies, you are going to put your multi-platform dependencies here. So I have implemented my datetime library here. So Kotlin X datetime of this version 031. Let me see what's the latest version here. Okay, I'm not getting any. Actually it's 040, so let me update the version. Okay, and yeah, let me, yeah, updated the version, and let me rerun the application. Okay, so yeah, that's it. And yeah, I have added both of the libraries. As you can see here in my Kotlin script, I have added the datetime library and also the Napier library, which is let me see, a library for multi-platform logging library, right? So let me check out the version of Napier library that I'm using. 141. So what is my Napier library? 210. Okay, that's cool. No, actually it's 261, the latest version. So let me update also this one, 261. Okay, rebuild the project. Okay, so we have added these two libraries. Okay, it's pretty simple, guys. You just need to go to your shared module and just implement your necessary libraries here, right? And add it to your common main so it can be shared. Okay, so that's it. We have added this two library. The datetime library, as I told you, is an easy to use multi-platform library that helps us to with our date and time based calculations. It has several data types like instant, clock. Okay, let's go and try to check out the documentation. Okay, so you can go and read out the documentation, but as I told you, it has a lot of several data types like instant, which represents the moment in time, the clock that imitates a real world clock and provides the current instant. A local date time represents a date with time but no associated time zone, so local data, local time, so many instance. So you can also use it for more complex applications, right? And it is just used once because it's a multi-platform library. Okay, so you just need to add it once, and like you can use it both for iOS and Android. Okay, so now let's go to our common main. So let's go to my common main and create a new Kotlin interface called time join helper, right? So let's go and do that. It's a time here. So okay, so let me check for a while. So let me this is my as I told you, I'm going to create another Kotlin file called time zone helper file. This time zone, it's actually not a class, but it's a interface, and will consist of methods like get time zone strings, a list of string. It will also consist of current time. Okay, so string it also consists of current time zone. This is also a string. It's going to return the string. So the another one is hours from time zone, other time zone ID, which also takes the string and outputs a double in hours, right, from time zone. So now you need the next function that gets the time, taking the input of time zone ID, that's a string, and it returns the string. And finally you also have get date time zone ID, takes the time zone ID and it returns obviously the string. And you have finally the search that takes the start hour int and hour, that's also int, and time zone strings, which is like a list of string. Let me reduce this window so that we can have a clear view, and then we can have also the output as it returns the list of integer, that's a search results, right? So that's it. So we have the interface. Obviously now we have to implement the implementation. Time zone helper implementation. So this is a class that is gonna implement the time zone helper, and now it's gonna implement all the members. So let me just implement all the members. Okay, so now we have to slowly start implementing each and every function, right? So we are doing the business logic for the moment. So get time zone strings, what it gonna return? It returns the time zone available zones ID and sorted. The current time is the current moment, instant, and clock dot system dot now. Okay, and validate time, local date time is current moment to local date time. So time zone dot current system default. Okay, this time, so it's gonna return the current time in as a string. So format, so we're gonna write another method that is that's gonna format function format date time, that takes the date time and returns a string of formatted date time. Okay, so string builder, string builder. So now we have minute date time dot minutes. We have hour date time dot hour percent of 12. So if hour equals to 0, then hour equals to 12. Val am pm, if data time dot hour is less than 12, then it's gonna return am, else it's gonna return pm, right? So string builder dot append we append to our to string builder, append the if I mean it is less than 10, string builder append to 0, right? And we have a string builder append to minute to string, then finally string builder dot append ampm. Okay, so then we return the string builder to string. This formats the date time, so we format the date time and get the date time and returns the current time. Okay, so now we also need now current time zone. So for our current time zone, let's go and also implement the logics for a current time zone. Current time zone equals to time zone current system default returns the current time zone to string, right? Then we also need hours from time zone. So for getting the hours from time zone, we have a current ent time zone equals to time zone dot current system default val current utc instant equals to clock dot system dot now, then date time in other time zones, data time in other time zones, right? So we can also get the times in other time zones. So other time zone will be time zone dot of other time zone id, then we have a current data time equals to current utc instant then to local date time, and you get the current time zone, right? So also we have a current other data time is a current utc instant to local date time other time zone, and you return the absolute value of your current date time in hour and minus the current date time hour. No, actually it's a current other date time in hour. Then you also need to multiply it by okay, actually you also need to multiply it by 0.0, that's gonna be the double, right? You cannot minus it, so minus hour. Okay, so now it's looking good, and that's it, guys. Now we also need to get the time. So to get the time zone, we have a time zone dot of time zone id, then you need to have a current moment equals to clock dot system now. You also need a date time equals to current moment and to local date time zone. Then we also need to return the formatted date time of a date time will get you the time. Okay, Now we also need to get the date, time zone of time zone ID. Okay, well, current, okay, moment, first o'clock. You can just pretty much copy and paste the code from below, above actually. So now date time will be current moment dot to local date time zone. Okay, and you need to just get the date, right? To get the date, we just get the date, time, day of a week, name lowercase, replace first character, T uppercase, then you also need to okay, you also need to have the same date, time, month, name lowercase, replace first character, T uppercase, okay, then we also need the time, date, day of a month. Okay, so this will get you the date, right? So now finally we also need to do the search, right? Okay, so to apply for the search, we have a good hours is a mutable list of int. So time range goes to int range max. Okay, so we have a max of from 0 to start our min, that's 23, and our, okay, so we need to just import the Kotlin max and Kotlin min, current time zone. We need to find the current time zone equals to time current system by default for hour in time range, where is a good hour, false for zone in time zone strings. So for each time range in hour, also we have actually a matrix of like we have to also check between time zone and also hours, right? So we are doing also loop for zones for each hour. We are doing it for each zones, time zone, time zone of zone, if time zone current time zone, you continue, if so now we also need to check if like it's valid or not, right? So let's create a private function is valid a time zone, I mean the time range. Okay, so we need time range, it's an int range of hour, and value current zone, time zone, we need to have also other time zone boolean if hour is not in time range, you return the false. If the hour is not in the range, then you just return false. So when your current UTC instance so when right now you are in UTC time, okay, so you have a current UTC instant equals to core clock system now. So now also data time in other time zone, right? So you have a current current other date time, current UTC instant and to local date time and other time zones. So current other date time from the other time zones, right? So and date time with given hour, date time with the given hour, you have other date time with the hour, local date time, then you have current date time year, current other date time dot month number, you have your current other time day of month, then you have a hour, then you have 00 minutes, seconds, nanoseconds, right? Okay, so then we have to convert that hour into the current time zone, right? So we have a local instant equals to other date time with the hour to instant of a current time zone. Then we have to convert our time zone hour to other time zone, right? So to convert converted time will be local instant to local date time and other time zones, right? So we need also have a Napier. This is our logger. We need to log our hour in a time range, another time zone dot id is converted time hour, right? So now we need to see if it's in our time range. Return if converted time hour is in our range of time range. If it is, then you just return true, otherwise you return false, right? And that means it's valid. So you need to just check if it is valid, right? So just check if it is valid. Time range will be like your time range, hour will be your hour, current time zone will be your current time zone, another time zone will be your time zone. Okay, so here it will check your if it is valid. If it is not valid, then you just use a logger, Napier.logger to log the hour. Your hour is not valid for time range. So then you also say is a good hour, false. you just break it, else it's valid, right? So Napier d hour $hour is a valid for a time range, so it's a valid hour, right? So it's a good hour for doing any task, right? For organizing a meeting. And then if is a good hour, then we're gonna say that good hours that add this hour. So we're gonna do this for each range and just in a loop. So that's gonna return the then we're gonna return the good hours. That's the list of the hours, right, in format of integer. Yeah, so we have returned okay, we have added the necessary implementation. That's all the business logic. And this we have added in a command main. As you can see here, it's shared between iOS and Android, so you're writing the logic only once here. Okay, and now we can use it both for iOS and Android. Okay, so this was all about the situation. So uh, 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 uh. Okay, so now what we will be doing is we will be first running our application if it is working. Yes, Android is still working. We have added the still have to implement the time zone helper implementation. Okay. The part of the UI we will be doing it most probably in the next lecture, but okay. After I deleted and I run the application, it's working, right? I added the necessary business logic there. Okay, so now what if I start to run it? Okay, let me go and run the iOS section of the code. Okay, let's me go and open my Xcode and let me try to just use command B to build the application again. Command B, replace. Okay, build failed. Okay, actually it says that now the build is failing. Content view build failed. Okay, so how can we fix this? Cannot find the greeting in scope. So we don't find the greeting in scope. So how can we fix it? We just need to remove this. We're not gonna use any greetings anymore. We also don't need a greet anymore. What is this body is used for? Okay, let me also remove this text view. Okay, let me use the command B again. Okay, content view. Okay, let me use command B again. Okay, command B. Okay, let me add the empty string for the moment. Build succeeded, yeah. And if I run the application, yeah, we're gonna see obviously it's gonna run, yeah, but the string is empty. Okay, so we're gonna now so this section, what we did was we implemented our business logic, right, both for iOS and Android. So what we are gonna do is in the next chapter we're gonna learn about how to use UI, how to update the UI with the business logic, right, that we have created. So I would like to just take a break from this tutorial, and in the next tutorial we'll be implementing the necessary, updating the necessary UI, right? So we have successfully removed the previous code and successfully built it and added the necessary business logic for these applications, right? Catch you later in the next tutorial. So thank you very much for watching, guys.